Welcome back to At Home with Roby. I'm Patrick McIsaac, president of Roby Electric, along with Trent Haston, president and CEO of the Roby family of companies. We are your hosts. Trent, we're still here with Nicole from Andrew Roby, Raleigh, Durham.
We call it the triangle, right?
Triangle.
Triangle.
I mean, Andrew Roby Triangle.
Andrew Roby Triangle.
Pretty simple.
Pretty simple. That makes it a little easier. It's only one word I have to say versus
you get
two.
Raleigh, Durham, then you look like you lost your catnip.
Carrie.
You're like Raleigh, Durham.
But we are Raleigh, we are Durham, we are Chapel Hill, we are Hillsborough, we're Wake Forest, we're Cary, we're Fuquay Marina, which I finally learned how to say that word.
Fuquay
Family
Marina.
in Fuquay Marina.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I used to. I mean, I'm a rubbernecker, as they like to say. And when I spent my time in Chapel Hill, all I did was jog the route of the houses I wanted to look at and the projects, and you know. I think Chapel Hill has always been robust and whatever, but I think in the late 90s when I was in school, it really hit an inflection point on the construction in the area, and it doesn't seem like it's slowed down at all.
No, Chatham County is about to explode. It's going to be the new place that people are going.
Why?
There's a new development that's beginning to get on the ground, I guess, and they are preparing for thousands of new
It's
homes.
like a new little city, like a
is.
vertically integrated development.
Yeah.
And they had, back in the 90s, I mean, when I started thinking like a construction guy, business guy was in college, there was a community that was like a township, kind of like a Birkdale village, you know, had the shop and had the medical offices, had the grocery store, and then had the community around it, had a school. I thought it was really cool. I used to ride through there all the time, take Reagan through there when I wanted to teach her something. No. That didn't even come out right.
We're slipping up a lot today. It's all right. Nicole, talk about some of the volunteer things that you do in the area to kind of get yourself out in the market. I know you're very involved with the HBA.
Yeah, I've been involved with home builders for many years, and it's wonderful to be able to transition over to two really great HBAs, the Raleigh Wake and the Durham Orange Chatham. And this year I have the chance to serve on the board of directors for the Durham Orange Chatham HBA, but I'm also very involved with the Remodelers Council in the Raleigh Wake HBA.
Well, and that's really something that you're trying to. I mean, remodeling is really your bread and butter, right? That's really your primary focus, and you kind of have some interesting leads coming your way from another home builder, realtors.
Yeah, I'm lucky because I'd already had connections in the Raleigh area, so moving there wasn't, I wasn't just being dropped into the pond. But as people have reconnected with me, and as the market has heated up, some of the guys that were doing remodeling to fill in are now not wanting to do the remodeling. They're going strictly back to their
to the easy stuff.
Their new home, new home stuff. Yeah, and they know that I've been doing remodeling for 15 years, and Andrew Roby is a premier remodeling company. So I actually have other builders sending me clients.
Right.
It's wonderful.
That's great. I mean, the same thing happens in our world. I mean, some of these larger, big commercial electrical companies that get a call where they need a couple of circuits ran, it's just not in their wheelhouse, so they'll filter them down to us, and it kind of works both ways. We get a gigantic lead that's not something that we're interested in. We feed them back and forth, so it is interesting how you can kind of keep your enemies close, although in some cases they're not your enemies, they can become your allies. Oh, yeah. Which is great. I mean, I think that's also another thing to be said here. I mean, if you're a real estate person in Charlotte and you have somebody moving to Raleigh and they found a house that they want to do some odds and ends, or even maybe a kitchen or bathroom model, I mean, they know the name Andrew Roby's trusted here in Charlotte. It's obviously trusted through Nicole in Raleigh. It would be a good opportunity for them to reach out for you to help along with that buying process.
Definitely. And that's what we want to do. That's why we're there.
I mean, do you if somebody wants to look at buying a house or a townhome or a condo while their child is in school up in the area and they're from Charlotte and they're one of our repeat clients, and they say, hey, or not one of our repeat clients, hey, you think Nicole could go around and look at some properties and make sure we're getting something that passes the sniff test? We talk about that in Charlotte. I mean, that's down your
Definitely.
in your bailiwick, right?
Yep.
There we go. Well, so let's talk about a couple of your projects that you got going on. I mean, what type of remodels are you doing? What's trendy? I mean, is it kitchens and baths? Is that still the deal?
It's kitchens and baths, but it's also outdoor projects, from closing in a screen porch, making it a Three Seasons room, refurbishing decks, to adding on big fireplaces and really the outdoor living space is,
if we keep having
the next thing.
If we keep having mild winters in the Carolinas like we're having now, the outdoor, it can't slow down because everybody wants to be outside. I mean, people have been outside all winter, fire pitting, grilling, having a good old time.
Yeah.
So, it's...
Well, and we just, North Carolina, it's one of the best states in the country for that all seasons outdoor living.
Yeah, my in-laws just came back from San Diego. They were out there for about 8 or 9 days, and we went and picked them up from the airport the other night. And I asked Tom, my father-in-law, I said, how was it? He said, man, I'll take the Carolinas any day of the week. And I said, you not turning California on me? And he said, Lord, no. He said, this is where I live and where I belong. So it made me feel good. And we didn't lose one to the West Coast.
No, I think that would be a tough sale. I'm sure San Diego is a nice place to visit, but leaving here, 3 hours to the beach, 2 hours to the mountains, I'm sure you have different... It might be a flip.
They don't even have...
And then 2.5 hours to Raleigh.
Is not bad. Yeah.
For the museums and for the restaurants that they have. And
for the state capital.
North Carolina. Yep. Come visit the legislators.
How often do you hang out at the state capitol?
How often do I hang out?
With your little pole in your hand.
Yeah, 2, 3, 4 times a year. I actually just was at a legislative reception with the Raleigh Chamber last week.
Oh.
And I really enjoy those events because I get to see people that I know, and now I've got connections with some Raleigh legislators, but I still have lots of friends that are from the Lake Norman area.
Well, Nicole, the way you and I really got to know each other before we ever even thought about you joining the family of companies over here at Roby was you were very involved and a leader in the Home Builders Association in Lake Norman, and I think you were involved in Cabarrus, which is now part of the HBA Greater Charlotte, and in Charlotte's HBA. So we that's where we met and hung out a couple times and sharing industry knowledge. And our platform, y'all were talking about what you're getting involved in and where you're hanging out a little earlier, but our platform is to get involved in the community, give back to the community that we live in and that we feeds us and we feed it, hopefully, if we're doing it right. But then also be leaders in our industry. And everybody goes, why are you so involved in the home builders, or why are you so involved in NARI? And you already had that pedigree. It's because that's what we owe our industry. And if we want to have high-quality competitors and high-quality allies, then I think it's our job to help them, help people, and hold them accountable and make sure we're getting a high standard in our industry. And I think you've done an exemplary job of that. And I think you being a strong woman leading in the industry, and then also, I spoke about this earlier, a strong woman leading in our business. We're very proud, and we like to see you out front. So thank you for doing what you do, but thank you for also giving back to the community and to our industry the Roby way.
Well, I think it's really very, very important that we bring up the next generation. We've got to replace ourselves. Roby knows this. You're a 3-generation family company, and you were taught by your grandpa and taught by your father. But we, as leaders in the industry, still need to keep giving back and bringing up the next generation that's going to make a difference.
And it's not just us. I think most successful business people feel that way. We had Brent Beeson on the show last week from B&W Fiberglass, and he's volunteering through Clemson Engineering Program to try to keep the next generation going. Folks, we're coming up on a break. Nicole, thank you so much for being on the show. Raleigh is 2.5 hours from Charlotte. If you know somebody moving to Raleigh, a realtor in Raleigh, or you need something done in Raleigh, if you're listening to the show today, hit Nicole up, Nicole Goolsby, Andrew Roby, Triangle Division. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.